No, 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 no. This is not true. I mean, we have done considerable research about this, and I can tell you for a fact that PNC Bank is one of the best institutions in the country. Honestly, they have done a lot of stuff lately to beef up their customer service, to beef up their loan products, to beef up their credit lines. It's just fantastic. So today I want to talk to you about the $35,000 PNC personal loan application. And I'm going to give you a few hacks you must implement today if you want to get approved right away. Don't you go anywhere. You're going to love today's conversation. I guarantee it.
One in a million, one in a million, one in a million. You know they're coming up to me, cause I'm just the kind of flow with a stinging killer beat, but the rhythm's getting higher. Go, 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 go. One in a million, one in a million, one in a million, one in a million, one in a million.
Welcome back, folks, to another edition of the Awesome Sweetie Kiwi Show. How are you today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about the PNC personal loan. So basically, the maximum loan amount here is $35,000, okay? And I want to share with you a few hacks that you must implement today, boss, today, if you want to get approved right away, okay? Now, let's talk about, I first want to give you an overview about the loan. So this is a loan that actually ranges from $1,000 to $35,000, okay? And there's no prepayment penalty, no origination or application fees. It's really good. And PNC is kind of marketing this loan as a flexible borrowing option to consolidate debt or make a large purchase. And we love the fact that this is an unsecured loan, so no collateral is required. Okay, and one thing I want to say here is that PNC makes it very flexible because they have various repayment terms available depending on the date that works for you. Okay, but the payment frequency is monthly. So this is it. And in terms of FICO, if you have 600, this is really good. And in some cases, if you don't have 600, you better have large deposits in your PNC bank accounts. Okay. One thing I want to say is, how do you really apply for this loan? Very simple. You need to put your legal name, your social security number, and your date of birth. And this actually, what they do is that they actually allow you to put the dollar amount that you like to borrow right off the bat. Right off the bat, they ask you that. Okay. And if you have to put your address, previous address, if you have been at the current address less than 2 years, and you have to also put your annual income and any other income you would like them to consider. In other words, if you have a side gig or you have a Social Security benefits or you have a lottery winnings, whatever it is, you have to put in there whatever you want them to consider because they will be looking at your DTI. This is important, your debt to income ratio. So debt to income ratio means your income must be accurate. And the thing is, if you are applying with a co-applicant, you will need their annual income and any other income to be considered, and also their current employer, because PNC is, they like to verify income, and sometimes they will contact the employer directly. And in terms of application for this loan, you can apply online, okay, but there is no soft pull though. This is a hard pull, so you better be ready before applying. And you can also apply by phone. You call 1-877-225-5762. So the number again is 1-877-225-5762. They are available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's Eastern, and Saturday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay, or you can just apply at a branch also. That's fantastic. Now let's talk about the hacks. Let's talk about how to actually make sure that you are approved really fast. The first thing I want you to do is to run the numbers. Boss, I'm talking to you about running the numbers. Because the last thing you want PNC to think about you is that you have no idea about your DTI. Run the numbers. Okay, I want to borrow $25,000. Okay, how does that translate into your current budget? Talk to me about that, boss. Because we're not here actually applying randomly here. We are following a formula. We are following a plan when it comes to applying for this PNC loan. Okay, how does this $25,000 translate into your budget? What are the monthly payments you currently have? Okay, this is important. And lenders typically do, lenders such as a PNC, they do their due diligence to make sure you have the ability to repay the debt. Okay, so this is really good. It's really important that you run your own numbers and make sure that it will work out. Okay, so that those numbers will work out. So you first want to determine, you want to start by determining how much cash you will need. Keep in mind that PNC may actually want to see more than the amount. Like, in other words, the disposable income that you have, they want to see a little bit more above that. What is my point? My point is that if your monthly income, your monthly payments rather, on this PNC loan is $1,000, they want to see disposable income of $1,500 or $2,000. They don't want to see $1,000. That's too tight. There's no delta here. Okay, so this is important. And so you want to use a personal loan calculator to find out what your monthly payment will be. And PNC has a great calculator, loan calculator, on their website. Make use of that. Okay, you want to plug in the numbers. You want to have a clear idea what the payment will be based on the interest rate. Okay, and based on the amount that you borrow, and also the maturity, because the tenor, the maturity, it's really, really important. Again, we are talking about having a plan here. We're not talking about applying randomly. So the first thing you need to do is to run the numbers. And when I'm talking about running the numbers, I'm talking about making sure that the numbers, the addition of a new loan does not change fundamentally your DTI, your debt to income ratio, and also your CUR, your credit utilization ratio. This is really, really important if you want to keep your FICO score high for a long time. Okay, run the numbers. I don't care how you do it. If you do it in an app, or you do it in Excel, or you do it on PNC's website, but you have to run the numbers and be comfortable. See, we are in a perspective here. We are in a prospective mindset here. We want to anticipate things. The second thing I want you to do is to check your FICO. So if you want to get the $35,000 PNC personal loan, you want to check your FICO. One thing you need to know, PNC pulls primarily Experian. Okay, they pull Experian. But depending on your state, they may pull from the other two credit reporting agencies too, TransUnion and Equifax. Okay, one thing I want to say here, because sometimes we hear people say, "Oh, well, this lender only pulls one reporting agency." No, they have freedom to choose whatever they want to pull from. Okay, but PNC is known historically to pull Experian. So what is the point here? My point is that you want to focus on your Experian FICO, on your Experian credit score. Make sure that you have that there is no derogatory item there. Okay, if there is anything, fix it. As a matter of fact, the thing is, you actually have a chance to get a free copy of your credit report from annualcreditreport.com. It is a free copy, so make use of it. Okay, every 12 months, every year, you can actually get a copy. And if you find any errors, and what I'm trying to say here is that it's a copy from all the three major credit bureaus. Okay, and I want you to really dig a little deeper and make sure that you have no errors, no derogatory items, no adverse items that will actually cripple your FICO score. And we need to start taking that thing for real here. We need to think it seriously. Okay, so checking your credit score shouldn't be a yearly affair. It should be a monthly affair, or even weekly affair. Who cares? You're checking your credit score every week. Who cares? That's your credit score, and you can do so free of charge by signing up with services such as you have Credit Karma, you have Nerd Wallet, you have Wallet Hub, you have a CreditWise, you have a constellation of players out there who provide this kind of service for free. Boss, I'm talking to you, so I want you to really, really take this for real and implement a strategy where you are checking your credit score more often than once a year. Okay, so checking your credit score will give you a clear idea of where you stand before applying for the $35,000 PNC personal loan. I want you to explore. Yeah. You want to consider your options. See, the thing here is that you're thinking about the $35,000 personal loan from PNC. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, how are you going to get it? How are you going to get it? In other words, and let me just ask another way. What if you do not qualify for this loan? What are your options when it comes to actually getting the loan? Well, for one, you can get a co-signer. Does your spouse or girlfriend or fiance have a better credit score than you do? Talk to me about that. Because the thing here is that you can co-sign the loan, you can co-apply, and improve your chances of being approved. Or what if you should consider a secure loan from PNC? Because secure loans require collateral such as a vehicle, a house, or certificate of deposit. Maybe you don't want to break that CD because the CD has been open for 3 months and you have a CD for 15 months or 18 months and you just want to keep the cash in there. Makes sense. I don't blame you for that. I know what it is. So what you want to do is you can collateralize the loan by actually pledging that CD or that savings account actually as a collateral for the loan, thus boosting your chances of approval. Actually, if you secure the loan, as long as the CD is also situated, it's also housed with PNC, then you are going to get the loan. So I'm just telling you to consider your options, not just being gung-ho into, I'm just looking for this personal loan. That's what it is. If I don't get it, that's it. No, because everything is possible. Everything is possible. You may qualify or you may not qualify. See, if you keep all options on the table, things become easier, okay? If you don't meet the typical qualifications and you want to wait a little bit more, why not? You can wait for maybe a decent rate. You can wait for a cosigner. You can wait for better terms on that loan, okay? But this is important. So when you approach, before you even fill out the application form, either at the branch or over the phone or online, you want to think about your options. Do you want to collateralize the loan? No. If not, the question is PNC the best lender for you? Because you got to start asking that question. Yeah, granted, you have a good relationship with them. Okay. You've known them, you've been with them for 5 years or 10 years and whatnot. And basically you want to get a loan from them. But what if this is not the right loan for you at this particular moment? We got to be open to possibilities here. The next thing I want you to do is to be certain. You need to choose your loan type. Obviously, we are speaking in today's conversation about the $35,000 PNC personal loan, right? Okay. But did you know that PNC has other credit products? Do you want a PNC personal loan or something else? So you got to be certain. You got to be specific about that. As a matter of fact, let me just share with you what PNC offers in terms of they have a line of credit. Maybe a line of credit is good for you. Did you know that with the line of credit from PNC, you actually can borrow from $1,000 to $25,000? If you're in California, sorry, but the maximum limit is $5,000. But if you are elsewhere, it's $25,000. So this could be a great opportunity for you. And the rates are kind of cool too. And there is no prepayment penalty here. Okay. The minimum draw amount though is $50. Okay. And the good thing is that what we love with lines of credit in general is the fact that you can customize it. In other words, you decide when and how much to borrow up to your approved credit limit. You get the credit that you need within the bandwidth that was given to you, $1,000 to $25,000, and you have flexibility. So there is no collateral necessary and no penalty for prepayment. Okay. And again, if you're interested in that, just call PNC 1-800 call PNC Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern. Okay. Or you can apply at a branch. PNC has another product. That's the PNC investment line of credit. And this is great for folks who have an investment account with the institution. If you have an investment account and you don't want to you don't want to liquidate the securities housed in that investment account, you can pledge the investment account as collateral. And PNC is fine with that, okay? They have no problem with that. And here, the loan amounts are a little higher, okay? So what I'm trying to say here is that I'm giving you options to say, hey, listen, everything is possible with PNC. Okay. And but one thing you need to understand is that once you have actually thought about your options and you know where your credit stands and you have considered your options in terms of loans, whether you want a line of credit or loans or investment line of credit, you need to know that there are several types of uses of loan proceeds. Do you need a loan for debt consolidation? Do you need a loan from PNC for credit card refinancing? Do you need a loan for home improvements? Do you need a loan for medical? Do you need a loan for medical reasons? Do you need an emergency loan from PNC? Do you need a loan for a wedding? Those are things you need to think about because this will help you determine whether or not you should actually go for the loan or a line of credit or something else. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Finest, yo, 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 Miss Tequila, and call me señorita. Ay, papi, got me dreaming. My legs up on the ceiling. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know when he come, he ain't never gonna leave. No. Hit it the night run, and that's the way I wanna be. So don't think.
Welcome back, folks, to another section of the Awesome Studio Kiwi Show. We're also having a conversation today about the $35,000 PNC personal loan application hacks you must implement today to get approved right away. Okay, and let's talk about getting the paperwork. This is important. You have done all the research. You're comfortable. You're ready. You're gung ho on applying all that kind of fun stuff. Wonderful. You need to gather the paperwork. So you need to provide the necessary documentation. Okay, so PNC is very particular when it comes to the documentation they're looking for. Okay, you might need to upload or fax a copy of your latest pay stub. Yeah, a copy of your driver's license or proof of residence. Okay, and the PNC might also need any documentation from you. Okay, in terms of income. So we're talking about what? Your pay stubs. We're talking about your proof of residence, your W-2s, your 1099s. This is important. Okay, and in some cases they might want to see also your investment accounts, your 1099-R, your 1099 if you're a retiree, your 1099-INT. For if you are receiving interest income, or 1099 DIV for dividends. The bottom line is that whatever income you want PNC to consider in underwriting your personal loan, you need to provide proof that this is indeed legit income. In some cases, PNC might even ask you to provide your income tax returns, not only personally or business-wise if you have a business. In other words, they might want to see your 1040 for the last 3 years or the last 2 years, depending on the case. And they might want to see the same thing for your 1065 or 1120S or 1120C. Okay, so this is really important when we talk about providing additional, when we talk about gathering the proper paperwork for the PNC bank loan. Okay, and please, and if everything checks out, just accept the loan. You will need to sign the promissory note. You'll need to make sure that you know the calendar of payments. Okay, so you can start making payments. It's really important. And PNC, it's just a lot better based on our rates, based on our research. It's a lot better to house everything with PNC. In other words, to have a relationship with them, because you can, even if you're lucky, you can get a discount for auto pay. So if the payments are coming from an account that is housed with PNC, that's even a lot better. That way you can actually maybe get 0.25% or 0.50% off your interest rate. And this is really good. This adds up because when we talk about $35,000, 0.25% or 0.50% of $35,000, that's some nice change. And the last thing I want to say here is that when we talk about the PNC personal loan application hacks you must implement today to get approved right away, one thing I want you to do is to shop around for the best personal loan rates. And the thing here is that we're not shopping around in other institutions. No, we're shopping around within PNC. And this requires some strategy. It requires some negotiation, okay? The thing is that most of the time, you might apply. First of all, with PNC, there is no soft pull, okay? I want to clarify that. And so when you apply, you are ready to get a hard pull. Now, the thing here is that if you know that your financial situation is a little shaky, that things are not really clear in your financial life right now, well, wait. Because the interest rate might be 12% today, But in three months from now, this could be 10% or 9%, right? So you want to shop around for the best personal loan rates within PNC. You can also, instead of going for a personal loan, you can go for a personal line of credit. The APR might be lower there, okay? And this is really important. So you really want to do the research within PNC first to make sure that you actually could qualify for a loan or a line of credit with better terms. Now, if all of this doesn't work, then you are free to shop around outside the PNC ecosystem. Okay, so we first want to do things endogenously, internally, before doing things exogenously, externally. Okay, it's important. So if you start shopping around externally, you are able to say, okay, you know what, PNC ain't really the bank I'm looking for right now. Okay, what about Wells Fargo? What about Bank of America? What about U.S. Bank? What about Chase? Well, Chase don't offer a personal loan at the moment, but U.S. Bank does. Wells Fargo does. Okay. What about other players? What about Truist Bank? What about BMO Harris? Okay. That's when you start shopping around externally and see if you have the right loan elsewhere. Because at the end of the day, it's all about what's good for you. It's all about what's good for your wallet. If you don't get the right loan, with the right terms, at the right conditions with PNC, you are free to actually look around. Okay. All right, folks, this is it for today's conversation. In today's discussion, I was talking to you about the $35,000 PNC personal loan application, and I was giving you a few hacks that you must implement today to get approved right away. So first, I gave you an overview of the loan itself, and then I told you to run the numbers. Really important. You need to check your FICO. You need to explore. You need to be certain about the loan that you want. You need to get the paperwork ready. And last but not the least, you want to shop around first within PNC itself, and then second, outside the bank. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.